Hello, everybody. Welcome to my 20-minute yoga for beginners with me, your host, Tatiana Cicchelli. We'll start in a child's pose. Child's pose, soles of the feet together or toes together, knees wide as the mat or a little narrower depending, forehead down towards the floor, and you can either extend your arms in front of you, take them out as wide as you need, or you can do what I like to do, which is to take your hands, create a pillow, and place that pillow underneath your forehead. In this position, allow your body to rest. Relax your jaw and your face. Relax your whole body. Just breathe. On your next inhale, walk your forehead and hands over towards the left edge of your mat, reaching with your right fingertips, and if it feels okay, using your left hand for support. Take breaths into the side of your body, expanding your ribs. Begin to walk yourself into the opposite direction, towards the right side, stretching out through your left fingertips and using your right hand for support. Again, you want to think about breathing into the entire left side of your body. Use your hands to help lift you up for support, and then come to a tabletop position where your knees are hip-width distance underneath your hips and your hands are underneath your shoulders. On your inhale, drop your belly, set your gaze and your tail up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, press into your hands and round. Every inhale creates the back bend, and every exhale, you create a rounding in your spine. You kind of look like a cat on a scary pumpkin. Flow with your own breath. Allow the movements to be in all parts of your spine, your neck, your upper back, and your lower back. You can keep your eyes opened or closed for this. On your next inhale, lift your knees up off of the floor and send your hips up and back, coming into your first downward facing dog. Your hands stay about the same place, and if you want, you can move your feet up and down, move from side to side, whatever feels good. Inhale, lift your left leg up and bend your knee, bringing the sole of your foot towards your glute, and your knee as high up as you can get it. Draw a couple of circles with your ankle in one direction and then in the other direction. On your exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose and then plant your knee down under your belly button. Lift your left arm up and maybe even your right leg. Drop your foot and your hand, press into your hands and foot, and lift back up into that three-legged dog. Exhale brings your knee in towards your nose. Allow your knee to come down, and then once again, lift up your left hand and your right leg. Plant your hand and your foot, lift back up, three-legged dog. One more time as you exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose, allow that knee to drop, extend your left arm and your right foot, hold in steady stillness, and then drop your hand down towards the floor and come into a side plank. So set your right toes directly behind your left. Allow your left leg to be a pivot. And then when you're ready, reach your right hand up towards the ceiling, creating as much space between your hands as you can. A variation would be to grab your ankle and pull your leg back, creating a back bend and a quad stretch. Release your foot down to the floor, look in front of you, and then come into a lunge position, setting your right foot between your hands. As you inhale, lift your arms above and overhead. And as you exhale, begin to fold over your right leg. As you straighten it, point your toes towards the ceiling and pull your heart towards your toes. You can stay or begin to flow where you come into a lunge and then hands down into that stretch of the hamstrings. You can move in your own breath, coming from lunge to that half split variation. Plant your hands down to the floor, come back to hands and knees. A few cat-cows to reset. On your next inhale, come into downward facing dog. This time lift your right leg up, bend your knee, and open your hip just like before. Try and bring your foot as close to your glutes, and maybe you do some circles with your ankle in one direction and in the opposite direction. Exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose. Allow your knee to drop just under your belly button. This time lift your right hand and your left leg. Drop them both down. Lift back up, three-legged dog. On your exhale, knee to nose. Drop your knee. Lift your right hand and your left leg. Exhale, three-legged dog. Take a breath in. Use your next exhale to continue. Knee in, knee down, arm and leg up. Lift up. Come into your side plank variation. So right toes directly behind the left or right leg is your pivot, and then left hand up towards the ceiling. Again, if you wanted more, you can grab onto your ankle and create a back bend here. Your gaze can be up or down. If you have your foot, release it, and then make your way into a lunge with your left leg forward. Use your inhale to lift your arms up, perhaps even going wide to open your shoulders. Exhale brings you into that half split where you straighten your left leg and stretch over your foot. You can again hold or begin to move in and out through lunge and hamstring stretch. Move your arms with the movement of your legs, and remember to keep breathing. Plant your hands down to the floor, come back to hands and knees, a few cat-cows to reset. Maybe even moving your hips from side to side, adjusting your shirt if it's moved. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up, set your left foot forward, and drop your back right knee. Place your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Make sure that it's stacked. You can begin to twist here towards your left leg, or if you want more, lift your left hand up towards the ceiling. Be mindful that your elbow stays a little bit bent. Your knee might want to open. You can also take this into a hip stretch, pressing onto your left thigh and opening your hip. Come back into your lunge, lift up your back leg, come onto the ball of your right toes, set your hips steady, and then inhale, lift your hands above and overhead. Gaze can be in between your hands, towards the floor or towards the ceiling. Opening up into your chest by taking your arms wider, and then clasp your hands behind you, pull your hands back, heart up. Take a breath in and lean forward so you're reaching over your left knee. Take your hands to the front of the room, and then either stay or lift up your back leg, coming into Warrior 3. Take your hands back, bring your feet together, stand up, and inhale, arms above and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, arms above and overhead, reach up, look up, and then exhale, hands to heart center as you fold all the way down. Forward fold. From here, hang in ragdoll. You can grab opposite elbow, you can grab behind your head, or you can just move or hold in stillness. Allow gravity to create space in your spine and let your head be heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on your thighs. Exhale, fold. Step back, plank pose, And then lower either all the way down or knees down first and then all the way down. Keep your hands where they are, untuck your toes, and lift up into a back bend or cobra. Press into your hands. Exhale, come down, forehead to the floor. Inhale, press into your hands, peel your chest off the mat. Exhale down. Inhale, last time, lift up. And either lift up your hands or keep them where they are. Take a big breath in, get tall with your spine. As you exhale, bring your hands down by your shoulders, tuck under your toes, lift back up, hands and knees. And then child's pose. Take a couple of breaths here to reset. Relax your jaw. Hang out here in the moment. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up, hands and knees. And then come into a few cat-cows to reset. Again, inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, press into your hands and round. When you're ready, lift off, downward facing dog, hips to the ceiling. Pedal out your hips, move from side to side. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee. Exhale, step your foot in front, drop your back knee. Once again, we come into the lunge twist. Left hand under left shoulder. You can stay or begin to bring your right hand up towards the ceiling. Again, remember, your elbow is bent. Gaze is anywhere from the ceiling to the floor. That feels good for your neck. And if you want that extra hip stretch, take your hand on the inside of your thigh and open up. Remember to keep breathing here. When you are ready, come back into your lunge. Lift your back knee up. Come onto the ball of your back foot. Hands to heart center. Look forward. And once again, warrior three. Your hands can go back behind you, forward, or at heart center. Remember to breathe here. Find your focus. And then release. Bring your feet together towards the front of the mat. Inhale, arms above and overhead, reach. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Forward fold. Take your feet as wide as your mat so that you're in a big forward fold and allow your body to sway. Let your head relax, let your arms dangle, bend your knees if you have to, but allow gravity to create space. Come all the way to standing and turn your toes out and your heels in. Set your butt close to the floor, coming into a yogi squat or malasana. Adjust as needed. You might move from right to left until you find your position. Try not to sink down. Press your chest up. You can take your hands to heart center. And remember to open through your knees. So press the pinky edges of your feet, and bounce a little bit. Feel like you're not just sitting in your joints, but you're lifting up out of them. If you would like a little more, set your right hand off to the right side and tap your left toes to the front of the room. Set your left hand to the left side and tap your right heel to the front of the room. You can continue alternating here, using your core to help lift your leg and holding in balance. Come back to center. Drop your right knee down to the floor, lift your hips up. Come back, yogi squat. Drop your left knee to the floor, hips up. Come back, yogi squat. Move a little. Both knees down to the floor, hips up, subtle back bend. Now here's the hard part. Come back, yogi squat. Knees down together, hips up, yogi squat. Take your hands forward, lean forward, tap both knees down, lift back up, yogi squat. Walk forward, tap your knees. Come back, yogi squat. Forward, back. Forward, back. If you want more, you can go without your hands. Release that and come into a forward fold. Let your head be heavy. Breathe. Bring your feet back so that they're underneath your hip bones. Not too wide, not too narrow, but directly underneath your hips. Sink down into your chair and then lift up your left knee. Step it back down, chair. Lift up your right knee. Step it back down, chair. Lift up your left knee. Back down. Lift. Chair. Straight up. Come into a tree pose variation. So left foot touches your right thigh and then back down. And then right foot touches your left thigh. You're not using the strength of your arms to help get you into tree pose. You're using your functional mobility here. So you tap and down. Continue to alternate. Once your right foot is on your thigh, you can continue here or you can continue to tap. If you want more, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. If you want even more while you're doing this process, you can look up. And if you still want even more, continue this alternating tree pose with your eyes closed for a test of balance. Wherever you are, release. Fold, hop, step, or jump back. Lower all the way down onto your belly in a low push-up. And then inhale for your back bend. If you want a little bit more, you can take your arms off of the floor. And if you still want more, you can lift your feet up off of the floor. Hands can be forward, back, or down. Release that. Come into child's pose. Sway your hips from side to side and come back up onto hands and knees position. Come to a seated position where your right knee touches the bottom of your left foot. Right foot by your hips. And then lift up your tail a little bit as you lean back, attempting to come all the way down onto the floor. But you can stay on your hands or you can come onto your forearms. If you need a little bit more of a quad stretch, allow your left foot to be on the floor and your knee to rise up. You can also alternatively open that leg. Roll to your side, come up, and then take this to the other side. So left knee comes to the bottom of your right foot. Adjust your left foot, lift up your butt, and then either stay or come all the way down onto your back. You can take the foot variation if you want, or you can just stay wherever you get a decent stretch. Make your way out of the posture. Come onto your back if you're not there already, and we'll go with a twist. So arms off to the side, feet as wide as the mat. Allow your knees to fall over to the left side. And if you need a little bit more, take your left foot to the outside of your right knee. Gaze can be to the left, to the right, wherever feels good. Switch. Bring your knees over to the right side. And then if you still need a little more, take your right foot to the outside of your left knee. Bring your feet together. Come into Shavasana. You can take up as much space as you like here. Your arms can stay by your sides or they can come by your hips. Relax your jaw. Relax your breath. Allow your body to sink into the mat. Allow your consciousness to focus in on your physical body, into the awareness of your breath. Into this moment. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug and rock from right to left. Roll over onto your left side. Press yourself up to sitting. Take your arms around and overhead. Reach. Bring your hands into heart center. Bow in your chin. Honor yourself in your practice. Thank you for allowing me to teach you yoga today. Namaste. Bye, y'all.